Rob, unbelievable scenes. How do you feel?
I'll be honest with you, it's a bit hard to express really. I'm obviously delighted, and delighted more for the players than anything else, because the truth is we could only prepare for today really by talking about ourselves and making sure we could take something out of the game, because the truth is, as qualifying out of this pool was very unlikely. I mean, anyone who's laid a bet on it has probably made a fortune today, but the truth of it is, you know, we talked about what we could get out of the game, we talked about the character we wanted to show, and we actually talked before the game that actually today is quite a precious occasion. You know, a Champions Cup game in a professional sportsman's career is gone in an instant. You know, look back in 10 years' time, today will go in the blink of an eye. And if something's precious, you've got to look after it, make the most of it, and take something out of it. And we were determined to take something out of the game. Now, we didn't expect it to be winning the pool, but I think regardless, if results had been slightly different somewhere else, we could have still taken a huge amount out of today's game with the type of performance we put in. And that's what I'm pleased for. The players have put a fantastic shift in today, and they've actually got a real tangible reward for it.
At what stage did you realise that you were going through then? Were you told afterwards? Or?
I mean, obviously we knew the score was staying pretty close between Bordeaux and Clermont, and then obviously with about kind of 5 or 6 minutes to go, you know, with the score starting to go the way it was, and obviously then Bordeaux started to come back into the picture with their score, and it all started getting really confusing, and we didn't know whether we needed to kick the ball off the pitch at the end there or score another try, and in the end it panned out. That last big set of defence has obviously worked out to be very important, you know, and hearing things like Clermont not taking a shot at goal in the last seconds that would have put them through and has actually put us through, and you know, it's been an incredible finale to the weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think you might owe Morgan Parra a beer from the sound of it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I mean, but that's what it's like. I mean, they were probably as confused as we were at the end about what needed to happen, and ultimately, you know, we've come through. And it's always nice when hard work gets rewarded, isn't it? And I think that's what we've seen today.
And you've got plenty of time now to think about the quarter-final up against our Young's boys, the Wasps.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is we don't need to worry about it now. That's it. We don't need to worry about the European Cup. We can just put it to bed. And it's another fixture now that's a long way away, because we've got 10 Premiership games that we're going to talk about getting reset for now, and looking forward to enjoying and fighting on the Premiership front now. You know, it's fantastic that, you know, it's for me it's fantastic. It's a little while away. It gives us a chance to start to thicken out the squad with injuries returning, you know, and it starts to make it exciting that actually we might get, you know, a relatively full squad up and fighting for some really big games at the end of the season.
I'm sure your supporters will be relishing their trip up the Rico in April, though.
I'm sure they will. I mean, the truth is, like I say, them and us probably not going to worry about it too much. There's some huge games between then and now, and I think obviously the important thing for us is to make sure that the Premiership goes well now. You know, we can talk about tonight and enjoy it, but after that, you know, it's back to business, and that's going to be the important thing for us. We'll worry about Wasps in a few weeks' time, but for now, you know, we'll enjoy today, and then we'll get back on the bandwagon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When you get to a situation like this and you let's be honest, you weren't expected to go through, would you think of every game after that knowing Europe is going to be a bit of a bonus for you?
Yes, I suppose you've got to say that, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, looking at you guys can probably tell me more. I think looking at the pools, doesn't it guarantee an English club in the final or something now? The way it pans out, which is not a bad thing. You know, not a bad thing from our perspective now. So guarantees an English club in the semis and in the final. Well, you know, we're second in the Premiership. You know, if you're second in the Premiership, you got to give yourself a fighting chance. So that's why I think as focusing on our Premiership form now is obviously an important thing for us, because we're going to be battling out with 4 other Premiership sides, and you know, it'd be nice to think that we're confident and showing the qualities we do over the next 10 weeks that actually mean we are in with a genuine shot at doing well in the competition as it shuts up. And you know, like I said, it's a little bit difficult for me to express everything tonight because I got absolutely no preparation for what to say. And I was expecting to sit here and talk about a lot of different things that I'm talking about. So, you know, I'm obviously really pleased, and like I say, it's dropped on us now, and that's probably a nice way to qualify for us. It's dropped on us, we can enjoy it, and you know, it'll be a bonus for us, as you say.
Who was in charge of the maths in the end? I mean, in the last bit, or did you just?
Do you know on what basis you qualified, Rob?
I think we've qualified on points difference in the end.
Do you know how many points that is? Because we've been trying.
I think it's 3. Well, that's why Morgan Parra not choosing to take the kick at goal at the end of the Clermont game would have put them through, even though they lost. But it's actually by them not taking and getting held up, that means we've gone through. So. If you can understand that, you know, that's where we are. I think it's gone head-to-heads first, then it's gone on other things, and it's ended up being points difference. So.
Can I ask you a question you might be able to answer? When you look at the industry of your back row today,
Yes.
When everyone's fit, I know you all say those are the problems coaches like, but that's going to take some kicking, isn't it now?
I mean, obviously Julian Salby's been fantastic for us this season. Dave Ewer's had a great start to the season. He's out for a little while still yet, so that eases that situation. But I mean, the back row guys, you know, they get on very well. They're kind of getting used to a little bit of rest and rotation at times now, which we've never really employed before. But we've got the quality to do that now. I mean, for someone like Kai to come in and do as well as he's done, absolutely fantastic. And Kai's done it on the back of A-League performances, backed up by a European performance, backed up by coming in today, and he's jumped some good players to get in there. So I'm really pleased for him. Really pleased for Johnny Hill. I mean, Johnny Hill hasn't started a Premiership game or European game till last week. And look at him, you look at the performance he put in tonight, and things like that are fantastic. James Short coming through, I mean, he looked absolutely electric out there today. He looked almost unstoppable when he got the ball in hands. He was a pace above anybody else out on the pitch. Things like that. That just shows we're heading in the right direction, and we're starting to thicken out in the right way. We've dealt with a few injuries, but as I said, I never like to talk too much about one-off results. The proof of where we're really going to be as a side and whether we've really got strength in depth is what is the challenge of the next 10 weeks, really. Today at Sandy Park, a one-off emotional performance, great. Now we've got to kind of knuckle down, and we've got to do it the other way. We've got to do it like cart horses for a bit and keep ploughing our way through.
How's Jeff Parley?
Jeff Parley, a relatively nasty cut and obviously a bang. At this stage, we don't think there's any concussion or anything. So he was taken off as a blood injury, not as a concussion. So we're not at this stage. We're not thinking it's a concussion. It's a different injury.
Rob, Steve Tandy and other Welsh coaches will point to salary caps, which obviously can be viewed as an excuse. They'll say it's fact. But would that be unfair to what you've built here? Because it's quite some model exhibit. In
some ways. I mean, the truth is, I was actually speaking to Steve before the game, and we were talking a bit about financing and bits and pieces. I mean, the truth is, this is the first year where Exeter even had full funding off Premiership Rugby and the RFU for being in the Premiership. So we know all about the rights and wrongs and the fairnesses of the salary cap. We had to spend £5 million to buy shares so we could get a full share. That's where we are as a club. So we've been building our finances over a long period. We're spending more this year than we have in other years. People are probably aware of that. But we've had to do it very gradually as the finances have allowed it, and as the development of Sandy Park and the increase of a crowd. So we like to think we're doing it in the right way. We've had to be patient doing it, and potentially, we'd like to keep developing and keep improving our squad. But we are doing it based on what we're earning more than anything else. And I think, I suppose, in a way, that's the way to do it. That's the way we're going to do it. And I wouldn't say that we've been a big overspending club for a number of years, and
it just shows what can be done, I suppose.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, in some ways, yes, but in other ways, it also shows that you have to work very hard on your income streams to improve as a side as well.
Thomas Waldron looked like he had the bit between his teeth today, and his kicking boots on as well.
Yeah, no, Tommy's kind of in the prime of his life, isn't he? A bit like a fine wine, getting a little bit better with age, isn't he? But I think, he had some very important moments for us. And obviously he's one of those guys who's a momentum player for us, and I think that's what he did today. He got us on the front foot enough times to really keep pressure on Ospreys. Like I said, I think he was part of a very good team performance. As I said, I don't mind ribbing him, saying I think he was a bit lucky to get the man of the match, because I think I'd have lumped it on James Short myself, but I'm sure he'll be very happy to pick up another piece of glassware.
Your injured guys, Rob, will Jack and Sam be able to meet up with England?
Jack Noel and Sam and Luke Cowan-Dickey will be with England the early part of the week training. Obviously we're assuming that probably knows he won't be released back, because looking at the squad and who's fit and how Jack's played in the early part of the season, I would like to think he's got a great chance of being in the England 23. Obviously whether Sam and Luke, without playing recently, will still be considered into that 23, I'm not sure, so they may come back for us for the Worcester game.
Potentially be available to play.
Potentially able to play, yeah. Thank you guys.